Hey there, channel. So now I'm going to put the link to a video that's going on right now, coincidentally, on Redacted podcast. Oh God, I forget her name, but anyway, she's interviewing Zack V, and they're talking about the destruction of the books in detail. So if anybody wants to listen to what Anthropic and a couple of other guys, these guys, they're actually destroying books. And they both talk about the details of it. So that's good because that's what I was just, and I might as well just preach a little bit about how, oh my God. Okay, so like about 3 or so years ago, I made a video on this channel. And what I had done, what the video was about, was that I had looked up online to see if there was a certain book for sale that I own, because I was thinking I would read that book, which I did. No, I haven't. I was going to read that book on my channel perhaps, but I wanted to see how many copies were out there for sale. And the book is called The 9 Faces of Christ. And in the video that I made a couple years ago that's on this channel, that a bunch of views, I got a bunch of views on, and people keep looking at that video. And the reason perhaps has to do with this issue about the books, because what happened that day was I looked at this book, The 9 Faces of Christ, and what the first thing that popped up for me was Amazon selling it for $7,000 plus. I was looking at an Amazon ad, the Amazon with the book, 9 Faces of Christ, for $7,000. I took a really quick screenshot of it, and that screenshot is proof that that's what it was. And then I included the screenshot of that on the video that I made. But what happened was when I saw that, why was Amazon selling this book for $7,000? When I went out of that and then came back in later, that was gone. So it just showed up for a flash of a second. Then later I found copies of that same book for normal prices, but when I would click on a couple of those to see if I could buy it, it would say unavailable kind of thing. So back then I started seeing somebody's paying attention to these rare books that are about certain topics and that also happened with a book that I did read entirely on my channel called World Within a World, because I have a copy and I knew that was a rare book. And so when I went and looked for a copy for me to buy, I ran into all kinds of, I ran into this one source that claimed to be selling, millions of books, and the ad would say it's available, but then I go try to buy it and I couldn't. And that book was called World Within a World. I finally did find a copy that I bought because mine was so tattered and old, and I paid like $35 for this little paperback book that was written by the that particular book, World Within a World, was, oh God, I can't even think. Well, anyway, let me just go to what I was saying. So now here they are, they're burning the books, as they say. And I'm going to keep talking about the side effect of destroying old books. Guess who probably has underground libraries full of these books? Or, like I was saying, the side effect of destroying books is that they're going to create a market of vintage rare books that are going to be even more rare, and then the right people who know what's up are going to collect those rare old books and put a huge value on them, and then it's just one more physical item from Earth that other people are going to use to their advantage one way or another, and then do what I mentioned in my last video about it, is that they will, these people want to destroy the evidence of where the information came from. So that's why when I was talking about the posters, in fact, that last video I made about the vintage poster market. After I made the video, I went into my closet to look for the catalog because I thought, let me make a video and show you guys the catalog. And it's in bad shape. Well, I went to the auction house that I dealt with, and they are selling the catalog. They sell copies of old catalogs of auctions that they have where they've sold other memorabilia. So for $20, I can get a newer copy of this catalog that my friend's collection is in, and tells the story about the Overtone collection and names the source of where it came from enough so that the history of the Mambo Club and the Overtone collection, I would imagine that my friend and his family have kept that alive on their own, but there's just a handful of us that know the origin of that collection and the story behind it. Does it matter? Well, it matters when one of those posters in the collection is selling for $50,000. I'm not joking. $10,000, $20,000 for a freaking poster, because that collection was the only one of its kind. And in fact, the vintage collection, and the reason I'm saying vintage posters, because now we're going to have books. I don't know, they're going to create a market down the road where, oh, look at this rare book that was destroyed back in the fucking 2000, what, I don't know. But I forgot what I was going to say. Well, anyway, I just wanted to put the link to this video about the books in case anyone's interested, because in this small town, I'm going to go to the library, but they're so backwards here. See, now I'm glad that this small town is known for being kind of backwards, stuck in the 1940s or 50s or something like that, because the bank here isn't changing its ways. People aren't using AI. If I go to the library, you probably won't know what I'm talking about. But I am going to go see if whatever. But anyway, keep your rare books, I guess. And these people are fucking mad. They're just going crazy. So, because what they're doing is, it's bad. So anyway, I'm just going to put the link to that if you guys want to go listen to what Zack is saying about the book burning that we're experiencing in this modern age of AI. Okay, bye.